Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends MEGGAN figure from the Excalibur 3-pack. I am reviewing them all individually, so check out the respective reviews if you're only looking for certain figures. And if you're looking for the 3-pack, well then you're going to get a detailed review of each figure anyway. So there's not a lot to talk about for this figure, but there are some things, so I think it's worth sticking around. It's not just a throwaway like some Marvel Legends are. So let's go ahead and get this figure off the stand and take a closer look. This figure stands to where the head would be about 15.5, including the hair. It's closer to 16.5 centimeters. That's going to make her roughly, we'll say 6 inches to the skull, and then about 6.5 including the hair. So size wise, I think she scales pretty well. Darwin's at just about the right height. She's just above a Darwin tall if you include the hair. Alright, so let's go ahead and do a quick question of the day. How often do you guys buy a 3-pack or a 5-pack or a multi-pack and actually want everything that's in it in terms of the individual figures? I don't know if that's a thing anymore that frequently, so that's why I'm no longer doing the 5-packs or 3-packs as one review. I'm going to do each figure individually going forward, because most of the time, if I wasn't reviewing them, I don't think I would want the whole pack. Like, for instance, that new Dr. Ock 2-pack with Aunt May. I don't want Aunt May. Who cares? Who cares? That's going to be good for like one photograph, and that's it if you take photographs. I don't need that in my collection. Don't need it. And somebody's like, well, what if you wanted in a Spider-Man diorama? Unless that diorama is Aunt May's house, or I guess she got kidnapped, it's not that interesting. Okay, anyway, let's talk about this figure. Aesthetically speaking, there's one really good thing about it. It's a good assortment of parts, even though there are no new parts on here. It actually has the more muscular thighs, the thicker thighs, and the lower legs are well shaped as well. You can actually see the calf, and then it gets down skinnier into the ankle. It has the decent torso, which we've seen a million times, but then it has the chest that actually looks like it came out of a comic book, the superhero chest, if you want to call it that. And what I mean to say is she's got some assets that make this figure a little bit better, and they always put a really good butt on the figures, and so if you're into that sort of thing, that's a good thing for you. But I'm just into it because of the accuracy to the source material, so I'm very pleased with the overall composition of the figure in terms of the plastic. As far as the paint goes, it's okay. She does have a sort of glossy finish to her for all the green parts. I like that. The black parts are sort of satin. I don't know if that was intentional, but it looks pretty good. I'm alright with that. The flesh tones are all pretty matte, so that's pretty good. The one real bad thing about the paint for the body, the shoulders don't match at all. There's a lot of green coming through. I don't mean speckles, I mean it's not enough paint. It's very much the wrong color for the shoulders going into the torso, and it looks horrible. So that's a problem for the body. For the head, the face looks terrible. I don't know what that is. It looks ridiculous, and I think it partly looks ridiculous because the hair is not glued on properly. And I don't know if that's an issue with mine. You can see the gap behind the ear and how far back it is on her forehead. Or maybe that's how they all look, but that looks pretty bad. It makes the head look... She looks like a mannequin, too. There's something really weird about her head sculpt and paint job and everything. Don't like that. And also the hair. That's a lot of really, really pale yellow hair with no wash or anything to make it look good. And I'll bring up the box again. Notice a difference in the color of the hair? Hasbro does not like comics. I've decided they don't like comics. They mute colors and mute design features and character designs and all of it. Look at that. The hair should be yellow, or at least have some saturation, so the head really ruins this figure for me. The body is surprisingly good, and then the head and hair, the hair sculpt is okay, but it's not a good looking figure. It almost looks like there's little spots of shading here and there, but I might also just be going blind. I'm not sure, but it doesn't, it's like spots, so it doesn't look good. It almost looks like, anyway. Yeah, so I'm going to give this figure an aesthetic rating of only 6 out of 10 because the body is pretty good compared to what we normally see at least, but that head and the paint job for the shoulders really throws this one right down the drain. That's a bummer. Now, as far as accessories go, she has the 2 open hands that come on her in the package, and then she has 2 fist hands. So essentially none. I mean, the alternate hands, sure, that's nice, but with that ugly ass head on there and no other accessory, I'm pretty disappointed. An alternate head would have been good. So I'm going to give this a 3 out of 10 for accessories. 3 out of 10. If that was a good head, then I'd been a little bit more generous. But an alternate head would have really helped, because that looks rough. Okay, as far as the articulation goes, I should have mentioned this in the aesthetic. Look at the gap. That's just how she stands. It's at the right height. The head is at the right height on the neck if you look directly from the front. But if you look from the side, they clearly have some issues going on with their lollipop syndrome. That is one of the worst offenders I have ever seen. And that's just ridiculous. Obviously the hair will get in the way for some poses, but for others, especially with that lollipop syndrome, you'll be able to fudge it. And as long as you only look from a certain angle, it'll be okay. But if you look from the side, it's not okay. It's not okay at all. But you do have the hinge in there, which allows you to stick the head all the way forward or bring it all the way back, which is definitely how you should leave it. Leave it all the way back, and that will help you with your lollipop just a little bit more. All right, for the shoulders, they go up better than horizontal, so that's good. You're going to get your full rotation, obviously where the hair is not in the way, so that's fine. No bicep swivel, single jointed elbow, and you're only getting about 90 degrees, and that's where you get your bicep swivel. Again, not the best setup for articulation, but the body does look pretty good, so I'll take it. And I'm not one of those people who believes you can't have good looking elbows when they're double jointed. You can, it's perfectly possible, but these happen to look okay is all I'm saying. The wrists have a swivel and a hinge, so that's fine. Diaphragm joint on this figure, it's really tight. I can't get it to go back any farther than that, and going forward, it goes pretty far, so that's pretty good. I'll take that. She should be able to get in some decent poses. Going side to side, this is one of the better torsos. There we go. It's starting to loosen up a little bit. A little bit tight, but that's all right. So that's a good diaphragm joint. I'll take it. The hips, they kick all the way forward, no problem. They go back just a little bit, and then they go out to the side, not far enough at all. Less than 45 degrees. That's definitely a problem. That's not good. Thigh swivel is a thigh swivel, that's fine. Double jointed knee, less than ideal range, just better than 90 despite being a double joint. That's kind of a bummer. And then for the ankle, they go all the way back and not that far forward, but far enough, I guess. And then you get an ankle rocker. So articulation wise, don't leave yet, guys. I have something else to mention I forgot to mention earlier. Articulation wise, I'll give this one a 6 out of 10. Yeah, 6 out of 10. Not enough range in most of the joints. You know what? That arm was upside down. Do we get better than 90? No, we still don't. Yeah, it's not good. You don't get good range, and it's not a good assortment. There are some spots that are okay, but mostly not. So yeah, that's not great. All right, the thing I wanted to mention is she has really, really weirdly shaped feet. Little Fred Flintstone feet. And the sculpt is very soft and strange. I don't know what's going on there. Looks super weird. She's like a size 2 in the foot, and she's built like a superhero otherwise. Very, very strange. Okay, so time for the final verdict on this release. I was excited when I saw the body. It's shaped like a superhero mostly. Well proportioned, but then the head and hair are not good. The articulation is not great. No accessories, and we do have some looseness in the joints. So all in all, this is a pretty abysmal figure. Let's say it was a $26 single release. I would give it an overall rating of a generous, very generous 6 out of 10. That head throws it off completely. The paint job on the shoulders, no color in the hair, not a good looking figure. Within the context of a 3-pack, certainly don't buy the 3-pack for this figure. This is not a strong release at all, and it definitely drags down the 3-pack, so that's not a good thing. So there it is. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos every day but Wednesday, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. In the meantime, keep collecting.